So, yesterday I announced it to the audience that I'm bringing a Northerner to the program today because we want to hear from the Northerners as well.
Okay.
It's good to bring the Northerners. We want to hear from you, your views over this upcoming election in Nigeria, sir.
It's a welcome development. If you see from where we started, from the Independence Day to today, we're making a lot of progress. A lot of Nigerians don't understand it's the progress we're making. From the background, I see sometimes you're showing from tribal politics to regional politics and now to cross-carpeting politics, which is about ideology. We're not yet there yet, but we're making a serious achievement. Because if you can go back in the 60s, we used to have the Northern People's Party, MPC, Congress, the Action Group, the CNC, all of these political arrangements are based on purely tribal. Then we moved to MTN, which is regional, a bit mixture of all. But today, you see, we're talking about gladiators that cut across the country. People whose name is, they have supporters in all parts of Nigeria. They may have more in some states and more, but at least we've killed that tribal politics in Nigeria.
So, my number one question is, given that a Northerner is the president of Nigeria, how come the insecurity level in Nigeria, in the northern region, to be specific, is unbelievable? So people are wondering, even though a Northerner is the president, he cannot use the federal might to tackle the issue of insecurity in the north. So why is it that the northern region is concentrated with this Arab bandits? So why?
Yeah, it's a good observation and a good question, but for everywhere in the world where you see insecurity or unrest, it has to benefit certain people, or there has to be something good about that area, because people don't go and make trouble with something they don't like. They don't fight over things that is nothing. So if you look at it, let's go back to the pre-Independence Day. I mean, after the Independence Day, even the Civil War, before we get to the North, if you be patient, I'll take you there. You see, what caused the Nigerian Civil War is largely discovery of oil in the south. And having that oil ignites the trouble, which normally people will not present it as the oil is the source of the trouble. So if you look at what is happening today in the north, especially northeast, there's a lot of deposits of oil, petroleum, in the Chad Basin, a lot. Because, and if you come to Northwest here, we have a lot of deposits of gold and diamond. So you see, when you have such thing at your background, you easily have you have sponsors to cause trouble, and that's exactly what's happening. You see, in the basin development, the Chad Basin, very close to Maiduguri, there has to be insecurity there, so that the government will lose focus, and then if there's a chance, people can steal oil from there. They tried that in the South. Nigeria was so strong, and coupled with the Igbo agitation, we went to war. Within 30 months, we covered the war. But this time around, it's very difficult. We have to be very careful the way we do things now, because most of this, I don't want to call the name, most of outside power that has influence or that are fueling this crisis are stronger. They predict Nigeria to be disintegrated in 2015 during the Goodluck. That's the greatest achievement of Goodluck Jonathan. He kept Nigeria one. Even when he lose elections, some people wanted him to go, such power wanted him to refuse so that there will be trouble in Nigeria, there will be war, but he didn't do that. So we must salute Goodluck Jonathan on that issue. It's a real Nigeria, it's a patriotic Nigerian, because he realized that not just being the president, but the country is more than his ambition to remain the president. So if you look at it, we have a lot of deposit from Zamfara, from Sokoto, up to around Kwara. of gold and diamond.
Mm.
And they can't allow us to go free. That's a fact. But I can prove that to you. Listen to me. You don't know how much a bullet is cost. Some of these people they are using are poor people who cannot afford, ordinarily, cannot afford 3 square meal. How do they get AK-47? How do they get the rifle? Sometimes they even have ammunition. The armory is much richer than the Nigerian army. Even now that we are equipping the country, the present government is equipping the country. So you can imagine where do they get the money? Where do they even have? Because most of them are illiterate or semi-illiterate in the Western sense of it. Where do they get the connection to even buy, to negotiate if you have the money? There have to be a middleman in between. Somebody who knows the market, who knows where to source those kind of weaponry. So if you look at those things, what will you say? There had to be some help somewhere. And what's the interest of the help? There are instances, witnesses, and evidence where they see helicopter dropping foods, medications, armory into bush for both Boko Haram and now you talk about the herdsmen or the bandits.
Really?
Yes, there are instances, there are a lot of witnesses where airplane, helicopter flying and dropping stuff. Where did they get that connection? These are basically people who some cannot even speak English. So where's the connection coming from? And in terms of Boko Haram, white people, jam of different nations, I don't want to call the nations, who are not Muslim are fine working for Boko Haram. How do they get in contact? How do they, I know they can be missionary. Where's the connection?
Exactly.
Yeah, you have Christian working engineering, mechanics for Boko Haram. Where do you get that from? If it's ideology, if it's purely religion, why will there be? So it's more than what the eye can see. Nigeria is a great country and a potentially great country. And those who see it, nobody wants competition. Now it's America, it's Russia, it's China. They don't want Nigeria to graduate into world politics, into greatness of Nigeria, because they can see Nigerians abroad in diaspora, in America, in Canada, in UK, in all professions. We are not lagging behind. If our country will be fixed and those people come back, we're a great nation. So if you don't understand that, you're always going to be used. I was reading something today, the depth of America is so higher than anything. So how do they get us, how can they get us to do their bit for them? Keep us hungry, like Bombali would say. When you need some food, they tell you your brother is your enemy. This is a game, divide and rule. Create a situation, then tell you the answer, that the answer is this, is that. If not, let me give you another example. Why should an Igbo man say he's supporting IPOP, or one half illiterate man with all the educated people in Igbo, professors on all aspects, medicine, engineering, all, to not lead Igbo agitation? It has to be somebody who is not fixed, who is barely in Nigeria. So if you see very well, you find out that an average Igbo man, if you come to Abuja, you come to Kano, you come to Sokoto, you come to Zamfara, you come to Maiduguri, they are all in business. They run most of the business. And in offices, federal offices, all the offices you find them in. Now, if you want to cut away from Nigeria, just assume the Igbos in the north. In Kano, we're thinking of about 1 million. All federal agencies in north, there are elements of Igbo in them. So if you remove them, where are you going to get them a job in the east? If you remove them, where do you get the land for them to stay? Igbos fight over lands because it's a rocky area and there's no much space. So in Kano, I can tell you, Kano, Lagos, if you say you have more than 2 million Igbos staying there, it's not exaggeration. Where are you going to get them where to stay in the east? Not talk about those in the diaspora, in UK, in America. So why would somebody want to leave Nigeria? When we have fertile land, when you leave Lagos before you come to Kano, you see a virgin land where people can develop and expand Igbo land as one Nigeria. So, but why we so Igbo so dull that I don't see this? Don't forget that the tomatoes, the onion, the meat, everything, because of the nature of the land in the east, they don't grow. You depend that or not. Will you cut that and start importing from abroad? What sense does that make? So some people are making something out of it. If you look at the first time in the history, political history, I know maybe you can say Obasanjo was helped by the Northerner to become head of state, Shonikam by Babangida. But after that, you watch the first time Yoruba have been going action political, what do they call that? Action group, not in awo. But 2015, we saw a situation where the West came up and fight for Buhari because some element of Northerner were in Lagos with heavy dollars to make sure that he didn't get the primaries. And as God has it, the major person who stood for him is Bola Tinubu. It won't happen before in the old politics. And if he does that, it's going to be sanctioned by the Yoruba. It's the days of our war. So you can see we're making progress. Yes. Now people are talking of the South, even within the APC, there's a up and down, or there's friction between the vice president and his former boss, Bola Tinubu. You know, and in the North, people are divided over this. Some are for Bola Tinubu, some are for the vice president. That's a development. Politics is not an agreement, it's a verbal war and reasonings. And somebody who has superior reasons takes in how to win hearts, to win the follower. That's what politics is all about. It's all about cohesion. It's not about threat. It's not by intimidation. No, by feeling you care about the people you want them to support you. So if you look at...
Do you mean that we are more inclusive now?
Yes.
Now
yes.
than in the 60s, for
yes.
instance?
Yes. I can give you more example. In the 60s, the region was divided into three: the North, the West, the East. There was agitation, even in the South, by the Calabars. There's the people who try to success from the West, you know? And even the Midwest, which is supposed to be in the Western region, made an agitation and break away from the West. It's based on tribal, is a tribal sentiment. In the North, we have somebody like Joseph Terka, who tried to break away Benue Plateau, you know? So if you look at that, in spite of that, today we don't talk about that.
It's true.
Today you see a Kano man campaigning for Patakot man. The Patakot man is a hit man. Okay, how about this man, this Minister of Transport? The Minister of Transport is one of the people who fought for Buhari, who fought for the coming in of Buhari. They stood there during the primaries. It can't happen those days. So, but there are a lot of people who doesn't go to history, who go back to history. They think what is happening is bad. And even security is a little bit improving now, because I live in Kanu. There was a time where you can't travel, you can't move your car 100 meters without being checked. If you're a motorbike, you drop, you have to push your motorbike, you have to be searched. And there was a time within 2014 to 2015, that every evening there will be some bomb blasts in the market, in the church, in the mosques, in all the institutions. That has stopped. Now what is going on is kidnapping, which is largely in the bush. You have to be on the road before you're involved. So from where you are in the market, you are being bombed. to area where a student in university, higher institution in the class been bombed, to a place where a church or mosque you've been bombed, to now reduce to roadside. At least there's improvement a bit. There's improvement. We are not there yet, but there is improvement because.
Okay. Do you mean that there's improvement in the security level right
now?
Yes.
I don't know where you left the content. Yes. I'm telling you, between 2015 to 2016, here in Kano, you cannot drive your car 1 meter without being asked to stop checkpoint in the middle of the city. If you're on a motorbike, you drop and push. Our emir, the most sacred person who have been bombed, in the middle of the day, in the afternoon, people came out to spray him. In the mosques, in the church, all over the country, from Borno to Kano, even to Abuja, to Nyanya, to all these places. Okay. So, which one is safer now? Now, is if you are traveling, maybe by train, which happened once time, or by the road, some hooligans can come on and stop and kidnap some people. Still, I will still tell you that it's still improvement than those days. So from the time where people, some bunch of idiots will go to school, the whole school, 100, 200 people carry them to bush. Girls, you know, they did a guest back, something like that. It happened in this country. And now it's not easy. And that's also, let me tell you, at that time, police cannot wear their uniform. They wear plain clothes. They don't stay in the police station. They stay surrounding the police station. So we left that stage to a place that the police can now go and perform their duty. We're making progress. We're not there yet. We're making great progress.
That is a good news coming from a northerner.
Yes.
That's a good one. But we hope that the insecurity level will not intensify. That is what we are praying for. Because
you see,
Nigeria,
the president is capable of killing insecurity today. Just within a week, he can finish Boko Haram, he can finish bandits, he can finish IPOP just within a week. But don't forget that this international criminal something, if you go full force like people are saying, they're going to rope him with war crime. Or they'll call it genocide. They find a way, they find a name to wrap it up to him. If you see the way the president is going on now, they wait for people who are clearly out to attack, then they deal with them, and they've been successful. It was a long way. It took the long way. It didn't take the radical way. The radical way is to go there, bomb everybody, and tomorrow some lawyer will come out and tell you, how are you sure there's no kidnap, there's no innocent person there? How are you sure one of the people that kidnapped is part of them? You bombed, you know, things like that will come up.
I'm not sure. Let's hear from the audience what they are saying about that. That if the government try to get rid of Boko Haram, the international institutions will construct such a raid as a genocide.
Good Lord, Jonathan. There was a time they were raising that point that the Nigerian army are capable of facing the criminal criminal injustice. It happened.
Well, so we were also predicting or even advising the federal government to work with international bodies to tackle this issue of insecurity, especially Boko Haram.
They can't help us. We are better off than them. I'll give you a reason. Somebody want to say something?
No, nobody.
Okay. We are better off than them. Let me give you an example. In Congo, Nigerian army did very well. In Lebanon, when there was war, Nigerian army did very well. In Sierra Leone, in Liberia. But what people don't understand, sometimes certain security issue is not something they discuss on the TV. Because here talking, the person, if you're taking this action, and then you change the action. Let me give you an example. There was a time when those Chibok girls were arrested. They said America will help us to go and get them from where they are during Goodluck Jonathan. And there was a plan that they are going to fuse those places with gas, so everybody will fall asleep and go there. Before you know, the story has got to them. They start wearing whatever masks to protect themselves. You know, so it's not military discussions. It's not something that they bring it to the table or to the forefront and talk. If you go there, okay, now if you look at Russia and Ukraine, the same scenario happened in America and Cuba, right? The same thing is happening there. And then see how they are trying to record some war crime against even before it happened. Before the war crime happened, they are trying to, and they will do that because they don't want Black nation to get to that level they are.
But the federal government is not providing enough ammunition, to.
That was before. No, not now.
Not
that was
now.
before. Let me take you back again to 2014-15. Did you know several barracks have been taken over by Boko Haram? Several military barracks, because there's not enough ammunition. And even the weapon they were using were not as sophisticated as that of Boko Haram.
Boko Haram, yes.
How come? You see, there's one thing in the military you don't know. If my bullet can go 5 meter, 200 meter, and your own can go 1,000 meter, before I get to you, you got to me. That's what happened during the Boko Haram. Before our soldiers' bullet could get to them, their bullet is getting to us. Then the army have to retreat and leave the barrack. More than 100 barracks have been taken over by Boko Haram. But now they are back. Is that an achievement? Is that a progress?
We don't know that. Some of us don't know what is going on.
A lot of people dish out lies for some other reason, for political reasons. But what we fail to understand is that we may die, but Nigeria will still remain. Even look at other countries like West Germany and East Germany. After a very long time, they want to come back. We have things that we both need. We have fertile land here. We have good land for agricultural production. And the congestion in the, let's say, East land that they're talking about, if you look at from Enugu to Abakaliki, I've been there, it's rocky, rocks, no place to farm. Where are you going to get the food? Food security is one of the major security in the world. If you don't have your food, what are you going to do? And don't forget that if things like what this government is doing now, going back to agric, if for Kano State that we used to produce groundnut oil, Duaren before Ogoro Singh is one who turned this thing back. When we used to have a federating unit, federal unit, North has generated its own money, West generated its own money, South generated its own money, and they give 40% to the center, they hold 60% to themselves. Not we're doing fine. Because groundnut oil, though we export them, contribute almost to 45% of the national income. Not about size and skin, tins and columbine, so many agricultural products here. Did you know again? Let me say something again now. Did you know that a liter of groundnut oil is more expensive than a liter of petroleum? Did you know that? Did you know that it's easier to get groundnut oil from groundnut than to crack a petroleum from petroleum? So there are a lot that we are not doing.
So for the issue of insecurity, which many of us are very concerned about in the North, because it's like the insecurity is pushing towards the Middle Belt to the Southern region, and it's ravaging the lives of many innocent civilians in the country. We are very concerned about, especially those of us in diaspora. We are not in Nigeria, but because of
there's a lot of exaggeration, sometimes exaggeration, but you see, it's naturally now. Those people when they were there in when they were there around Lake Chad, this what do they call it, the Sambisa forest, they concentrate there. Now Sambisa are taken over by the military. They're running down to anywhere. They are tactically running away. And they don't just run away and go and hold their side. They will run a place and hold ground there. So if you dispatch them, they run to another place. Look at the style they were saying, Fulani herdsmen. They say it's happening between Taraba and Benue. When the military are there, you move from Taraba, they say it's Benue. Then they say it's not Benue, they say it's Nasarawa. Now it's around Kogi and this. When the military is encroaching, they move away. Some die away. Gradually, they won't stop because they have no business. It will take time for them to stop.
To get rid of them, totally.
To get rid of them. Unless you want to go into the bush, anybody that look like somebody like me, you say it's a Fulani man, you kill him, which is not good, and it will have legal implication later. So this is the reason. It's not that the government is slow. The government, I hear people on the TV keep saying the government know where they are. They know when they go and kill them. I did the only one. Most of the time when you capture those places, you see they say they free 200, 300 innocent people or people they kidnap. So if you go and bomb those people, what have you done?
You kill innocent people that they
Yes, it's better to leave 10 criminals to go for one innocent man to be killed. Gradually, it's a long rope of the government. It's catching up with them.
I did a research on the Chibos girls that were kidnapped at that time. The way they rescued them, they were very careful so that they will not go condemn the lives of those innocent.
Yes. If you want to go and rescue them, you kill them. How can you? There's collateral damage, what they call collateral, military call collateral damage. You see, military is not police. They only shoot the direction and then whatever is that, they clear it. They don't care whether it's them. In fact, there used to be a mistake that a military will bomb its own people. It does happen. So if you do that, what do you think they will do? They will call you to international law, blah, blah, you know? That's why you see this government were asking for international to declare Boko Haram as a terrorist organization. They did. That's when we get that success. Now, if you look at IPOP and the kidnappers, they need the world to recognize them as a terrorist, because there's something people don't understand. Ordinary criminals should be handled by police. Armed robbery and stuff like that should be. That's how the law works.
One thing about the IPOP, can we categorize the IPOP as part of the problem, because they are just a group agitating for secession? So when we are discussing about criminal or insecurity in Nigeria, should we also classify them as part of the people causing insecurity in Nigeria? This is a little bit.
Yes. I don't know whether I followed recently. They will stop. There's what they call sit at home. If you come, there are videos. They kill Igbo themselves, their brothers. They kill the Hausa people. They kill any other person that comes out. There are videos of them burning trailers belonging to North, killing the drivers. That's insecurity.
Yeah, insecurity. Yeah.
You know, if you're agitating, you don't have to touch. You don't have to touch people. They have an army. It's no longer agitation. They are resisting. It's a resistance. Agitation is stopped at Babal War. Go to seminars, international conferences. Talk about that. This is not what they are doing. They are holding arms. Look at whatever they did. That thing they did for SS something. The leader was telling them, kill them, burn them, slaughter them. That's not agitation. That's not agitation.
Exactly, yes.
That is resistance, or will I say that's a war. So they already classified themselves.
Yes. Because
somebody who is throwing stone or stick, like you talk of Palestine and Israel, you can say that's agitation. By the time Palestine take a gun and start shooting at the Israeli, it's no longer agitation. It become war. So, and that's not what they are doing. They are not, if you say June 12, it's agitation, fine. During the years of June 12, Abacha, you see them gathering, they will go there, police dispatch them, they move to another place. None of them will throw stone. That's agitation. The situation where people are slaughtering people, You know, making the roadblock, killing people, burning people. They are not there. Is no longer agitation.
Yes.
They are take over because they have a law. Don't come out on Monday, all the Igbo land. They don't care whether you're Igbo or not. If you come, is killed. That's not agitation. That's more than, in fact, you can be trapped if your car was past that side, you can be victim of it. Anybody can make victim of that. And they don't care whether you're Igbo, whether you're non-Igbo, if they catch you dead. And they make the video, not somebody making the video to scare people. That's terrorism. Terrorism is about scaring someone with his life. If you don't do this, you're going to do that to him. And that's what they are doing now. They show there's the missile, they show they're in the bush. In fact, did you know it's only an IPOP case in Nigeria where we have people who are cannibalizing their people, eating human flesh. Yes, it's recorded online.
For the IPOP?
Yes.
For modern day?
Yes. It's not, if you Google, you see. It's on the online. It's not a secret, it's not hearsay. Human being eating human being.
I've never heard about that in modern day.
But Google is on the air. Anybody who's listening to this, you can challenge it. That wasn't the case of human being eating human being.
But sir, the major problem facing Nigeria right now is the insecurity concerning Boko Haram and bandits who are called bombing public spaces, killing how many people at once. So that is the major problem that we are afraid of.
I can reliably tell you, and you try to find out if you have any contact in Nigeria, I can tell you it's more than 4 years now. There's no Boko Haram don't have capability to bomb anybody. The last one they did is this train. For more than 4 years now, they have no capability of doing that.
Okay.
And if you talk about bandit, the word bandit is an English thing. If you watch the Western film, American film, it's a stage of development. The Americans were into that at the early stage of their time. And today, whether you like it or not, it's only when you fall victim, isolated area, on the road, that you can say you can fall victim of being kidnapped. Kidnapping has been going on all over the world. It's not a new word in Nigeria. It happened. The Americans and the Yankees and the Confederates, the Cowboys and the Indians, all these things happen in America. It happens
all in the old world. We are talking about the level.
Look at our development. We are less than 100 years. They are how many years? They are far more. They have seen so much, and they have many experiences that made them to understand, to enable to enact a law, to obey the law because of what they know. Yeah. Now today, there's school children are not safe in America. I know you heard that one.
Yes, I know.
There's not only in Nigeria.
Yeah. So, sir, let's quickly move into the politics aspect of it. Okay. I'm glad that the insecurity level in the northern region is gradually reducing, that the government is working to tackle, this issue of insecurity. That's what we want to hear. You understand? Because those days whereby we used to hear that there's a bomb blast in this, 200
it happened before 2007. This thing happened between 2012, 13, 14, up to around 2006. Okay. Yeah, but from then, it doesn't happen again.
But there's still that mass kidnapping, like the train from Abuja
to... It's Boko Haram now. People thought it's a bandit, it's a Boko Haram. They are claiming that some of their people that they were arrested, they want an exchange with them. They don't want money. Let me give you one thing, before this Boko Haram, what people believe, the same thing with IPOP, is that Boko Haram vanish. God cannot touch them. They cannot be killed. This is the kind of fear they impose on people. But they were killing them in mass. The same thing the IPOP were using. They say they go and do their juju, bathe them in water, hot water, but they're killing them now. They say bullet cannot penetrate them. It's not true.
Okay. So all right. For the IPOP one, I never heard about IPOP killing people, and I'm
Yes,
not sure.
please do that. There is. It's not hidden. It's not a side story. It's online. In politics.
Let's quickly dive into the politics. And the APC primaries is coming up. I think it will start tomorrow or Monday, something like that, on Monday. So who are we expecting to emerge as the candidate from APC now?
Well, you know, if you look at it, you can't talk about APC without going back to PDP. You see, what happened to the PDP is what will influence what will happen in APC. You know, before, many of us were of the opinion that let East have it and let's see what they can do. This agitation, let's give them, let's see what they can do. Now the PDP gave it to North, Atiku. So you see, because whether you like it or not, let me do some calculation for you now to see. Kano alone has every election from 1999 to today, 3 million voters. Buhari used to get 2 million something here. Don't forget 2 million voters in Kano. If you go to 5 states of the East, is 2,100,000 something vote. Yeah, I'll be patient with my background. You know, the same vote of Kano alone, if you remove Lagos from the West, is more than the whole vote in the West. Whether you vote for PD, the whole vote is more than that. Now, if PDP is taking somebody from the North, I hope you understand the trick now. And then if APC decided to lose North, you understand what I'm saying, go? Because they want to balance and take from the South. If you bring vote of Kano, for instance, it will be more than the whole East. If the people of Kano decide to vote for Atiku against maybe somebody, vice president from the South, the vote of Kano is more than the whole Yoruba land, apart from Lagos. It's only Lagos. You don't talk about Sokoto, you don't talk about Kaduna, big votes. So you find out that Southwest alone has 18 million votes. Northwest. While in Southwest, only 8 million voters. Those who vote, it doesn't matter who you vote for. Whether I vote for APC, whether I vote for PAP, no, the total vote we are talking about. That's eligible voters. Not even eligible, those votes that are coming out after being casted is the vote we are talking about now.
So what you mean is that even though APC tried to zone the candidates to the Southern region, there's no way that Southern can compete with Atiku in any way.
Yes, somehow, but if you look at, some of them have some influence. Now, the governors, I learned that they are supporting Bola Tinubu. They can pull something for him. And Bola Tinubu is a case of like Abiola. You know, Abiola contested against Kanu man. But here in Kano, Abiola beat the Kanu man. Yeah, he beat him. Only a candidate with that kind of representation can make influence in the north. Let's say in the Igbo, like Rochas or Korocha. But the Igbo will not present him. Rochas have school here, you have scholarship, you have so many things here. You can beat Soul of the Soil. He properly presented.
What about Peter Obi?
Peter Obi has no place.
Okay.
You know why? Peter Obi was hostile to the Northerner in time of his government. He was asking Northerner to hold ID card, which I'm sure the Igbo from his state in Kano are more than the whole Northerner in his states. We don't come, if you come to Kano and say that Igbo should hold ID card to differentiate them from other Nigerians, how will he feel? And if you look at it now, he's not in problem with IPOP. All IPOP sympathizers are with him. What does that tell you of him? And who IPOP say, who is their number one, where is their interest? Every day, Fulani. What do we do to them? How Fulani man? We help them. Let me tell you, did you know that no every Northerner can hold a shop in Igbo land, no matter how rich he is? But we give them shop. We give them houses. Some they give them free to stay here. So this is what he represents.
I know that the Northerners are very generous and they are very kind and honest. Because I've worked with many Northerners.
Obi cannot be trusted. That's one thing about him. He cannot be trusted. That is a clear fact. He cannot be trusted. If you say VP Vice President can be trusted, fine. If you say Ken Namadi can be trusted, Obi cannot be trusted here. That's the issue. Because all those things they say he did against the North. And it would be stupid for any politician to not look for the number, to look for sentiment. If you want to become anything in Nigeria based on democracy, which is based on number, you must be appeared, even if not sincere. You must be seen as a friendly to North. Because if you are going to vote, if it's going to count, vote is going to count. It's not that only the candidate supported by North can win. Yes. Only the candidate is supported by the North. Because about number, democracy is about number. The North has the number. Triple the whole South. So how are you going to do it? Unless you're going to put gun on them, if you don't vote for me, I'll kill you, which is not possible.
So do you mean that because the North has more population, that the presidency will remain in the North because of the population based on the...
No, you see, nobody will give, even you, nobody will give somebody who is not feeling safe a key to his house. If you have somebody who has a record who want to kill you, or it's after you everywhere you go, do you give your key to your house to him, to her or him? This is the natural question. The Igbo refuse to make themselves acceptable. They keep it to their way. Even I'm sure even in UK and America, they still want to think their own way. And it's a cake. Because let's go back before the white man came. Where are they? The Hausas, the Yorubas, the Benins are more advanced than them culturally. So what is it they're telling you?
I'm from Benin. I'm from Benin.
Yeah, it is more advanced than the Igbos culturally. And don't forget, from Sokoto, somebody is ruling like a president, part of Niger, part of Cameroon, up to Kwara, up to there's a place very close in Edo State to Okene. So nobody was ruling. They have all this in the school system, the judicial system, the police system before the white man came. If you go back to the Igbo history, look at the things fall apart. They are living like almost in different villages, fighting villages against villages. They were never a community, they were villages, not a state, not to talk of a nation. Igbo have, go back to their history, the Omala system, they believe in villages to village, villages fighting around village. But the days of Sokoto, the Sultan of Sokoto is giving help to Afonjas of Kwara. See the distance. He come to Ife to help Ife fight. There's that cooperation. So, but how can you say people who are just villagers? Look at an approach. I challenge every woman that's listening to this. He talk about his village, not town like Benin, like Asaba, like all. It's not town like villages. So you want to bring your own way, defeated way, for me to follow.
You mean don't forget at that time they had no centralized monarch like the Benin Kingdom that
it's now. We're all animal. From animal nature, we become community, we become family, we become this thing, we become nations. It shows our advancement. Even the white people have the same problem. They were from different individuals, they formed nation. So if you look at the Igbo, they haven't formed that. They were arrested at the point of development, a very low point of development. Like what Malcolm X said, arrested development. But if you come to North, for instance, now, Kano take British 20 years to conquer. Go and check the history. War to war, 20 good years before they could conquer Kano. And they were surprised, where do we get the gunpowder? Because Kano had the gunpowder through the Morocco, through the Egypt, through trans-Sahara trade. The gun which they are using to terrorize people in the south, the Kano people have it. So it was a bloody war. It has to be people who have issues with the Emir Kano that joined them to overthrow that's why they said the home people joined the white people to overthrow the Kano. And when Kano fell, the whole north fell. There's no such in the East. They were welcoming the white man. The white man is like a king. In fact, some of our enemies refused to recognize white people, like Emir Alu. He has to be deported to Lokoja. He died there. He's a Kano king. Never to allow to come to Kano. The British brought from that. Now you talk about Emir Alu. You are saying it's injustice. It's not the present government that formed it. It's the colonial master that formed. All those kings that resisted and fought them, they took them to far middle belt or somewhere. As a never to enter Kano. That's the law. Nobody changed the law. So if you tell me Emir Susi cannot enter Kano, it's injustice. It's not the present government that made it. It's the colonial government. Yeah, if you are deposed, you shouldn't enter the city. Because they fear that if you come politically, you can motivate people, you can rise another uprising. That's what it's meant for. So the Igbos should have calmed down. Look at the reason for the first, how can you do a coup? The 7 major that coup, only one is a Yoruba man.
But, you told me at the beginning of this program that we are more united now.
Yes, we are more united now.
But this rift between the Igbos and the Northerners right now that you are just explaining, it makes me think, but where's the unity here now?
I say it's better than before. I didn't say there's no discomfort. There are Igbos, I mentioned some Igbos who have moved out of that kind of mentality. There are so many of them that have moved out of that mentality of Peter Obi. If you want to rate us historically, as the white man look at us, how he met us, I am educated, Peter Obi is educated. To the eyes of the white man, I'm better than Peter Obi. Whether I agree or not, that's true. But the same Peter Obi will tell someone like me, I'm a bushman. I'm in Kano, my city, I've been here before more than 2,000 years. I've seen foreigners, Arabians. The first airport is here in Kano, but someone like Peter Obi can tell, this is the mentality I'm talking about. Someone like Peter Obi can tell him that is more civilized than me. What civilization? Copying the white man? Yeah, copying the white man is that civilization. If you don't forget your Fela was saying Pulufono, if you listen to that song, that's what he's talking about.
I have one critical question for you. Over these years, the Igbos, the Easterners, have not been allowed to occupy the Aso Rock. So don't you think that they deserve a chance? Because look at the leadership over these years. It has been rotated between the Northerners and the Southwest. You understand? Southwest, South too. South, because Jonathan came from South, and the Southwest and the North. So we haven't seen any politician coming from the Eastern region, the Igbos. So don't you think that they deserve a chance to strive politically in the country?
Yes, they deserve. But let me tell you, this is what I've been trying to tell you. Igbos are Igbos. They are not white, they are not American, they are not Canadian, they are not British, they are not French, they are Igbos. So why will you tell me because you copy Frenchman, or before you copy American, or because you copy British, you are better than me? You have to be judged with your culture and my culture to know who is better than me. And nobody, like I said, nobody will want to give his house to somebody who outwardly, unrepentantly, continuously seeking your downfall. Nobody will do that. You see, the first regime, look at the beginning. We've done that to them. Igwe Ransom was the president of Nigeria. Yes. Zeke was given president, Owe was military president. Zeke was given president. You know, the parliamentary system is that the party that wins the vote, such party will have everything to themselves. After the whole election, the NPC, Northern People's Congress, won the party. Out of friendship, out of looking for unity, they call for unity government. I won't say you not join the unity government. Zik agreed to join the unity government. The position of president was given to Zik by the Northerner. He didn't win it. It was given to him. What happened? You know, if you look at the history of the Nigerian army, it started with Hausa soldiers, the constabulary. So there are more Hausas in army than the Igbos. The Igbo wanted independence. They went to universities. They came out as officers. So they staged a coup. And in this coup, all the Igbo element in that government, you spare them. You only kill some few Yoruba and kill all the Northerners. Even Northerners who are not politicians, who are military, who are threats. You selected military officers that are educated who went to university. You killed them like me, Zakar Mimbalai, so many of them that are not politicians. And then you put your man there, Aguero Ronsin. The Aguero demolished something because the North was doing better, North had more money than the West. Education is only free in the North. They give you food, they give you uniform, they give you pocket money, while in the West, they give you free education, seats. So people enjoy education far much under Saddam than a war. I only give free education. But in the North, even we in the 70s, they will give us a piece of 2 uniform, 2 canvases, those who do sport, 2 sport wear, banana and egg twice a week. If you are going to calculate the transport to your home, they give you money. Every end of the day, they give you 9 naira pocket money at the 70s. So why is the South don't talk about that? What our did was just free, don't pay anything, come on school. But what not did was some parents, because they're so poor, they depend on their children, they allow their children to go to school. Some don't really want to go to school. Why? Because they still have, why will a white man conquer us? Why should we be a slave to white man thinking? Why should we be a slave to white man way of life? So some don't want to go to school. So you find out Igbos have refused to bring themselves to their level. Population, military strength we've seen, the North has more than you. So who are you to dictate to North? Someone who is military stronger than you? Economic, even economic, North is stronger than the Igbos. The Hausa are stronger than the Igbos. People don't talk about it. If you want, I can explain to you. Now look at the sectors of education. Which sector are dominated by the Igbos? Drugs, pharmaceutical, building, spare parts. That's all. But that's not what makes the economy. The transport system, all the lorries, all the trailers belong to the Northerner. All the airlines belong to the Northerner. All the money change, money market, changing of dollar belong to the Northerner. All the foodstuff, agri, meat belong to the Northerner. But you see, they're not arrogant about it like the Igbos. A Northerner who has 100 million, you would know. A Igbo man who has 220 million will show up.
But the Igbos are very innovative in Nigeria. We cannot deny that, no matter what.
No, how innovative they are.
They are very innovative, sir. Honestly, even the blind can see that the Igbos are very innovative. We should give them credit. The Igbos are very innovative. You know,
yes, I know it's what they say. It's what they say. They talk so much.
Not them. I was born and raised in Nigeria. Mm-hmm. So I witnessed the Igbo people. Igbos are everywhere. They are everywhere. Yeah. So you can see.
I don't know Hausa in your community.
The Hausa people, I'm not saying the Hausa people are not productive. They are not innovative.
I'm saying.
But the Igbo people, we should also give them credit for being very
Let me give you an example. What you don't see.
Industrious. They are very industrious.
Let me remove one lead from the way you perceive it, you see it now. There are Igbos in your community, there are Hausas in your community. Do you agree with me?
Yeah.
Do you see Igbo man in the business of meat? Do you see Igbo man in the business of selling animal? Do you see Igbo man in the business of money changing dollars? Do you see Igbo man in transport? apart from Canadian electrical, the boss. You see, they talk so much about what they do. And you see, they try to dominate your area, but how someone, if he comes to your area, he tries to do the job that you don't do. Did you know that Edo and Delta is where even my grandparents, people of my grandparents, do go and get the skins of a python? It's a big business, leather of a python. You won't know, you won't see it because they go quietly, they don't offend you. They do their business and go away. But everyone will be floating, will be chasing all the guests on that street. You know? Because you open a chemist or you open a shop where you tell you this is fake, this is not fake.
So do you just mean, do you mean that there's nothing good about the Igbos at all? There's nothing good
there's
about
everything good. There's everything good about it. There's everything good about every human being. But the problem of the Igbo is that they overblow their trumpet. And the only narrative they know is their narrative. You understand now?
Yes, sir.
So, you know, there are two sides to every story. Every story has two sides. But the moment you start thinking your own side is the only story, then there's something wrong. Igbo think only their story side of the story is a story. I can give you so many business that Igbo are not into it. They don't know it, and it's a money business, big money business. Igbo are into this. Let me tell what that. You see, they're into pharmaceutical, building material, spare parts, and shops, all these cosmetic shops. That's all. That's all. Just check. The selling of beans, the selling of yams, it's not important there.
Have you been to Aba?
I've been to Aba.
You see how productive and innovative they are.
Okay, see this one. Yet the same thing we're saying, they are into fabrication. All those things now, it doesn't finish from the clothes they are clothing, the imitation of shoes. You understand what I'm saying? These are not original. See where we are telling you that it's not innovative. You can't have made in Italy shoe, made in Spain shoe, and then somebody about is trying to mimic them. It has to be something that's originally from you. Now, take it or leave it. Whether you like it or not, whether everyone like it or not, you can't raise a cow, which is a big business, million business. It's original. It's not copying from anybody. It's his job. Okay. Igbo created fake. Everything they done somewhere, try to mimic. It's not originality. When I copy you, I'm not original. You understand what I'm saying? If you see Iboma, even the earring you're wearing now, if you're from Japan, you try to mimic it. It's not original. You get there. I don't know whether I get to what I'm saying. If it's original, it has to be within him. You know, he has to come only him, exclusively for him. This is what they do. They call it this thing. If you do this thing, they go and mimic it. They go and do similar type, fake one. They call original and non-original. And that's not creative. It's not creative at all. Don't forget that kola nut business, you know how to produce kola nut. But it's how someone who take kola to Egypt, to Morocco, the Yoruba who produce kola don't know how he does. But he does it quietly. He does it quietly. He buy the kola nut, he take it up to Spain. Local people cannot speak English, they do this business.
Sir, I'm not trying to stereotype the Northerners. When it comes to poverty level in Nigeria, when it comes to education in Nigeria,
good.
Can you rate the Northerners right now?
Let's take it one by one.
Education in the North.
Yes. Let's take
it poverty level. Go ahead.
Good. Which one? Let me take education first. Whether you like it or not, the North has two education systems, which is not the only one. The education that is used in Dubai is not the same education you are using in Canada.
Yes.
They also had both the one used in Dubai and those one used in Canada. If you're talking about education that is used in Canada alone and America, the Igbos have more than the Hausas. But when you talk about the education that make promotion in Dubai and Middle East, Igbo have zero of social education. The Chinese education is different. The Chinese advancement and development is different. The Russian advancement at the moment is different. For you to have a British, American, Canadian style of education, to think that's the final education, you're wrong. Chinese don't follow the same education.
No, when we say education, it doesn't mean that it must be a Western education. Education that has to do, education that has to support you, self-development kind of education.
Yes.
We're talking about. Now, you might be educated in French language, you understand? That is education. You might be educated in Arabic language or Arabic, maybe professional way. We are talking about professionality.
Let me say now, if you talk about professionalism, universities that we're talking, I think somebody go to university is educated enough by a standard. Isn't that okay? Somebody go to university is educated enough.
Yes.
Did you know the first university is in Egypt? It's not this Western system.
But that's what I'm saying now. It can be in Arabic.
No, this is what I'm saying now. See, I can tell you that no Hausa son, you say Al-Majiri. Al-Majiri is a system of education to make people humble. Almost every northerner, a Muslim, must have that education. All.
So that education, is it for self-development, to give you employment, to be successful?
I'm giving you an example now. In Egypt, in Saudi Arabia, in Kuwait, what do they use it for? They use it for work.
Okay, so that's humble. We give you
we are only blinding ourselves, Nigerians, to America, France, Germany.
Not that
which is different. Western already.
That is not what maybe you don't understand my question. When you say education,
if I read something, I'm a professional, I'm a radiographer, for instance, now, it's based on Western concepts. I can get employed in Canada, I have offers, I have license in UK, that's a different thing. But there's a kind of education that I cannot get job there, but I get in Saudi Arabia, I get in Kuwait, I get in all those places. You follow what I'm saying now? So those countries, the Chinese, the Indian, the Orientalists are different. And they use the education for work. There are a lot of Hausa in Saudi Arabia. Why do you think our people who are more in Saudi Arabia? They work. They work with their Islamic education and they have a place. Which woman cannot work with that kind of education? But even don't want to see that aspect.
Comparing here, we are not really comparing. I'm just
education. It's education. I'm trying to tell you that if you talk about general education, if you say Western education, the South are far, far more than the North. But if you say education, without branding that Eastern, Oriental, just education, the North are far, far more than the South.
What type of education is that? Can you explain what universities are the Northerners attending in this education that you are talking about? When you say education, it doesn't have to be with, me educating my children on certain language or certain doctrine. We are talking about going to the university, for instance, go study Arabic or something. That is what I want to hear.
Okay, let me say something.
There are different types of education we are talking about.
Yes. Let me say something. Did you know mathematics, algebra, chemistry, medicine are all started in those Arabic universities?
Do we have it in Nigeria? Do we have it in Nigeria?
No.
Attending that university?
No. See, what I'm saying now, the university who started all those languages, mathematics, are Islamic universities. There was no university in the West then.
Okay.
Now the West copy it and standardize according to their own needs. But I'm trying to tell you, those universities are still there. There are still people leaving Kano to Sudan to go and do university education locally.
That one is different.
When they say sheikh, you used to say sheikh, give me sheikh this. It means professor. Sheikh is not a religious something, it's a professor. It's a rank of professor like PhD.
Sir, that is different. You are talking about education.
No, this is something that you cannot get
education. That is what me are talking about. That children that doesn't go to school, parents don't send them to school at all. This what you are talking about now is education for anybody.
Okay, let me ask you now. Did you hear that a Southern will tell you there's Al-Majiri in the North? Almajiri. Have you ever heard of the word Almajiri?
Yes, I heard that, yes, sir.
Almajiri, let me define it for you now. It's not poor people. It's a system where you take your child to a teacher, you teach him, you humble him, you know, he look wretched. Doesn't mean that they want the child before he get 18 is humble in life.
That humbleness is it a kind of a profession? That is what we do here.
No, there are professions. I'm just trying to tell you that there's such school up to tomorrow. So Islamic school. In that school, they read different kind of thing. That's what I'm trying to, even the medicine we're practicing today is copied from that type to this one. The medicine, the arithmetic, you see that it's copied from that Arabic to Western one. Even the alphabet, ABCD, what do they call it? ABC is called Arabic alphabet now. Arabic alphabet, you don't know? It's Arabic that's modified. They are modified to this Western one. Right. There are people with that, and there are places they get job. They can't get job in Nigeria because Nigeria is a secular state. But there are countries that get job with those kind of education.
So do you mean that somebody in Nigeria study in Nigeria, then cannot get a job in Nigeria, then will go seek for job opportunities outside the country because that just shows that we...
No, let's drop that. We're talking about education now. I've told you now, the North has two kinds of education, the Western and the Eastern education. The South have more Western, only Western education.
Okay.
Only Western education. That's the point I'm trying to make you. So if you are going to judge based on only Western education, you find the North are far, South are far more educated than the North. But if you are going to talk about education, combining East, West, the North are far more ahead of the South. And let's go back to poverty now. Did you know, between me and God, there's more poverty in the South than the North? Those Almajiri that people are categorizing as a poor people, they are not poor people. There's a singer now. If you Google, you see Rara. He's a multi-billionaire. Last 2 months, he dashed singers who put company, dashed them car. He was Almajiri here. He just bought within this 99, and now he's become a millionaire. He's Almajiri, Rara, the singer for Buhari and all these people. He has a talent. If he sing for you now, like if you say you become governor, if something become like that. He's a singer. He appeared in this chairman for APC. He was once singing now. 10 years ago, he's Almajiri. So you are looking at them there. You see, Igbo have that kind of thing. If an Igbo man is learning apprentice with somebody, you look wretched. He's wearing one short knicker. You don't start judging from that point. This is the point the Southern are judging.
This is the most interesting interview I've ever had.
Did you understand? They're judging from that aspect. But those people have a parent. Do you know, see the system in the North? A normal, traditional, old system. There's what they call rumbu. They pile in the food they'll eat for the whole year. The father is the head. Even if you are grown, you have 2, 3 wives, see under the father. You farm the family own, then you farm your own. Then another thing that Southerners don't understand. Most of these people, after farming their food, they put their food that they eat for here, sell one, they leave the one for the wife to sell. They go to South, they call it chirani. That is a dry season. Instead of sitting down doing nothing, they go to South, they cut nail, they do shoe shiner. When the rain is falling like this time now, you see them moving back. Some of them are far, far richer than those people you are thinking there. I'll give you an example. When I was in Lagos.
So they are richer, that's why they came. Children are doing shoe shine and all that. They are richer.
Let me give you an example now. I was in Lagos between 2000 to 90 something. Those from Katsina, because I was staying and they were sleeping at the shop by our front, brought money to be keeping for him. At that time, I didn't have that money. He was gathering money up to 120. I still sleeping on that street, doing Shushana, doing all this money as well. 120,000. At that time, golf was 40,000. Golf, this golf 1, golf 2. And he has a farm. And he has food with his family at home. The moment the rain started, he will move back, collect his money and go. But you can't see because of there's no arrogance, simplicity. This Almajiri have made them simple. Opposite to Igbo man who is want to show is this, he want to show is that.
So
it's just the opposite.
So somebody will be rich and be doing beggar in the streets. If I'm rich, anyway, I think we have to end this program. Maybe next time I will bring him back to the show. I'm not sure if he's going to join again because maybe his network or